Hey guys, welcome to the final part of this review for this 1D&D character origins Unearthed Arcana, and we're finally going to get through the new rules glossary. So the glossary includes game terms that have new or revised meanings in these playtest rules, as well as terms such as creature type that aren't defined in the 2014 player handbook. The terms are organised alphabetically. If a term doesn't appear here, it is used its definition in 2014's player handbooks. So, arcane spells. An arcane spell draws on the ambient magic of the multiverse. Bards, sorcerers, warlocks, and wizards harness this magic, as do artificers. For a partial list of arcane spells, see the spell list section later in this document, okay? Artisan's tools. Artisan tools are a category tool with which a character can gain tool proficiency. For a list of tools, see the player's handbook, but ignore the prices there. Those tools now cost 15 gold pieces a piece. Creature type. Every creature in D&D, including every player character, has a special tag in the rules that most identifies the type of creature they are. Most players' characters are of the humanoid type. Here's a list of game's creature types in alphabetical order. You got aberration, beast, celestial, construct, dragon, elemental, fey, fiend, giant, humanoid, monstrosity, ooze, plant, and undead. These types don't have rules themselves, but some rules in the game affect creatures for certain types in different ways. For example, the description of Cure Wounds specifies that the spell would not benefit a construct. A D20 test. This is new. They mentioned this a few times in the article before. The term D20 test encompasses the three main D20 rolls of the game: ability checks, attack rolls, saving throws. If something in the game affects a D20 test, it affects all three of those rolls. The DM determines whether a D20 test is warranted in any given circumstance. To be warranted, a D20 test must have a target number no less than 5 and no greater than 30. What? Oh, I get you. So, a D20 test can't be less than 5, but it can't be higher than 30. Okay, sorry, I don't mean people. I was really confused. So, rolling a 1. If you roll a 1 on the D20, the D20 test automatically fails regardless of any modifiers. Okay. And rolling a 20. If you roll a 20 on the D20 test automatically succeeds regardless of any modifiers. A player character also gains inspiration when rolling the 20 thanks to the remarkable success. Rolling a 20 doesn't bypass limitations on a test such as range and line of sight. The 20 bypasses only bonuses and penalties to the roll. This is like one thing that I regularly see people ask about, and a lot of people kind of have the general consensus that a 1 or a 20 does not mean an automatic fail or an automatic success on any check that involves the D20. Whereas now, with these new rules, they're saying a 1 is an automatic failure and a 20 is an automatic success. Which I hate, because there are scenarios in which a 20 doesn't work. Here's a 100-foot cross ravine. I'm going to try jump it natural 20. That means they automatically succeed now? It doesn't make any sense. Probably a rule I'm going to ignore. I'm not actually too happy about that. That's probably the first thing in this whole thing that I don't like, is this. Critical hits. Weapons and unarmed strikes have special feature for player characters. Critical hits. If a player character rolls a 20 for an attack roll with a weapon or an unarmed strike, the attack is also a critical hit, which means it deals extra damage to the target. You roll the damage dice of the weapon or unarmed strike a second time and add the second roll as the extra damage to the target. For example, a mace deals 1d6 plus your strength modifier. If you score a critical hit with the mace, it instead deals 2d6 plus your strength modifier. If your weapon or unarmed strike has no damage dice, it deals no extra damage on a critical hit. Okay, so they've taken crits completely away from spellcasters. You can only get a crit with weapons. I can see why they do that, but at the same time, I can't imagine many people are going to be happy, especially spellcasters, because crits is one of the fun things for D&D. I don't know how this is going to play out. I might actually play test some of this stuff myself and just see how it works. Divine spells draws on the power of the gods in the outer planes. Clerics and paladins harness this magic for the spell list. See it later in the thing. Gaming set is our category of tool which a character can gain 2 proficiency in. Grappled condition. While you are grappled, you experience the following effects. Your speed becomes 0 and can't change while it's like that. Attacks affected. You have disadvantage on attack rolls against any target other than the grappler. Movable. The grappler can drag or carry you, but the grappler suffers the slow condition while moving, unless you are tiny or two or more sizes smaller than the grappler. Okay. Escape. While grappled, you can make a dexterity strength saving throw against the grappler's escape DC at the end of each of your turns, ending the condition on yourself. On success, the condition also ends if the grappler is incapacitated or something moves you outside the grappler's range without using your speed. Okay, I like that, because it used to be you just had to you'd use your action as a action to try escape, whereas now it's just something you get to try at the end of a turn. I actually like that change there. Incapacitated. While you are incapacitated, you experience the following effects. Inactive, you can't take actions or reactions. Your concentration is broken. You can't speak. If you're incapacitated when you roll initiative, you have disadvantage on the roll. Wow. You get disadvantage on your initiative roll. Interesting. I actually kind of like that change. Inspiration. When you have inspiration, you can spend it to give yourself advantage on a d20 test. You must decide to do so before rolling the die. Okay. No difference there. Oh, gaining inspiration. The main way a character gains inspiration by rolling a 20 for a d20 test. DM can also award inspiration to a character who's done something that is particularly heroic or amusing. Only a one at a time. You can never have more than one instance of inspiration. If something gives you inspiration and you already have it, you can give inspiration to a player character in your group who lacks it. Wow, they're kind of taking a little bit away from the bards here with the inspiration. Losing inspiration. If you still have inspiration when you start a long rest, you lose that inspiration. Oh, you lose it at a long rest. So I usually had it that you lose inspiration. If you get inspiration in a session, you have to use it that session. We go into the next session and you have inspiration, you lose it. So that's interesting. So, a long rest. A long rest is a period of extended downtime at least 8 hours long, during which a creature sleeps for at least 6 hours and performs no more than 2 hours of light activity, such as reading, talking, eating, or standing a watch. Benefits of the rest. At the end of a long rest, a creature regains all lost hit points. The creature also regains spent hit dice up to half the creature's total number of them, rounded down, minimum of 1. That used to be rounded up, so that's interesting. A creature can't benefit from more than one long rest in a 24-hour period, and a creature must have at least 1 hit point at the start of a rest to gain its benefits. Oh shit. So if you're on 0 hit points but stable, and your group enters a long rest, you don't get the benefits of a long rest. You just go back to 1 HP maybe? Oh jeez, that's harsh. Interrupting the rest. If a long rest is interrupted by combat or by 1 hour of walking, casting spells or similar activity, the rest confers no benefit and must be restarted. However, if the rest was at least 1 hour long before the interruption, the creature gains the benefits of a short rest. I like that, because it used to be, I think it was, if it's interrupted for more than 10 minutes, then it completely goes. But now it's just if a combat happens, the whole rest gets interrupted. Interesting. Musical instruments are both, yeah, that's fine. Primal spells, druids and rangers harness these, okay. Slowed condition, you must spend 1 extra foot of movement for every foot you move using your speed. Attack rolls against you have advantage. You have disadvantage on dex saves. Okay. I don't know if the slowed seems like it might be a new condition. Tool proficiency, it's the same as the others. Tremor sense. A creature with tremor sense can pinpoint the location of a creature's and moving objects within a specific range, provided that creature with tremor sense and anything it's detecting are both in contact with the same surface or the same liquid. Tremor sense can't detect creatures or objects in the air, and tremor sense doesn't count as a form of sight. Okay. Unarmed strike is a melee attack that involves you using your body to damage, grapple, or shove a target within your reach. Your bonus to hit when unarmed strike equals your strength modifier plus your proficiency bonus. On a hit, your unarmed strike causes one of the following effects of your choice. Damage of bludgeoning damage equal to 1 plus strength mod. You can grapple, and then you can shove. That's fine. And now the spell lists. There are now 3 main spell lists in the game: Arcane, Divine, and Primal. In future Unearthed Arcana articles will show how classes use these lists and how a class or subclass might gain spells from another list. The list here goes through the first level to support some of the races and feats in this document. The list currently includes spells only from the 2014 Player's Handbook. Okay, so let's go through the arcane spell list. You got Acid Splash, Blade Ward, Chill Touch, Dancing Lights, Firebolt, Friends, Light, Mage Hand, Mending, Message, Minor Illusion, Poison Spray, Prestidigitation, Ray of Frost, Shocking Grasp, Vicious Mockery, and True Strike. I don't know why I skipped those last two around, but I did. Hey, nothing out of the ordinary there, I don't think. I mean, it's hard to tell. This is a lot of spells. The first level spells for Arcane are Alarm, Arm of Agathist, Arms of Hadar, Burning Hands, Charm Person, Chromatic Orb, Colour Spray, Comp Languages, Detect, Sky's Self, so on, so on. I'll be here forever if I have to read out each one of these to you guys. However, I'm just looking through the cantrips, and there are some notable absences. Two I can think of straight off the bat. There's no Toll the Dead. And more surprisingly, there's no Eldritch Blast. Eldritch Blast is probably the most famous cantrip from D&D 5e, or Firebolt anyway. Those two probably go hand in hand. There's no Eldritch Blast. So one might think, are they going to make Eldritch Blast an ability tied to Warlocks instead of making it a straight up cantrip because of its absence? We don't know. We'll see. But yeah, Eldritch Blast and Toll the Dead aren't here, but this seems to be just like Player's Handbook stuff, not extra stuff like Toll the Dead. So, but the absence of Eldritch Blast is absolutely noticeable. I feel the only thing that really was massively different here is there's a little bit changes to some of the condition rules, but this D20 test stuff. Crits only now apply to martial classes, essentially. You can't get a crit on a Firebolt. I can see how it makes sense, but at the same time, crits are one of the fun things. I'll probably just abandon these rules, or I might make crits even better for martial classes in my own game. I might change crit rules. I don't know, we'll see. But this whole automatically succeeding on a 20 and automatically failing on a 1, not something I'm a fan of. Definitely something I probably won't incorporate into my own game, and I'll probably use my own rules. The only time I have a 1 and a 20 being automatic fails and successes are on attacks. There is nothing else. So I'm curious as to why they brought in such definitive rules there. But nonetheless, that was the rules glossary now for this document. We've gone through it all. I'll have links in the description to the other videos should you want to go back and look at the other 3 videos for the races, the backgrounds, and the feats. Guys, let me know what you think of all this new D&D stuff. This is insane, in my opinion. So please do let me know what you all think. If you enjoyed the video, guys, please give it a like. Say in the comments what you think of all this D&D 1 stuff. Or 1 D&D stuff. I'm a bit blown away by it. A little bit annoyed by this D20 test stuff, but nah, it's just something I won't incorporate myself. If you enjoyed this content, guys, please hit that subscribe button. We are crawling our way to 100 subs, and it'd be amazing if we got there soon. I'd be so happy. And if you don't want to miss another video, guys, make sure you hit that bell icon just beside the sub button. It'll mean the absolute world to me to know that you'd never miss another video. Guys, thank you so much for watching. Make sure you check out the other videos, and I will see you all in my next video. Bye.